A very good evening and welcome to this Sunday's edition of Primetime News, coming to you live from Newsfirst.lk in Colombo. I'm Arundhati Mundannayak. Let's start off with a look at the stories making headlines this evening.
Transfer of former Minister Dr. Sajit Premadasa to the Prisons Hospital halted. President's advice to representatives of local government bodies.
විවේදා ප්‍රතික්ෂේප කරන්නට හේතුණු කරුණුට අවබෝධ කරගෙන කටයුතු නොකළොත් අපිට ඉදිරියට ගෙනියන්නට පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ නැහැ.
Government proposes Speaker to resign from his position. Reports show that plastics in the ocean affect human health.
And now the story is in detail. Will the position of Speaker change at the new parliamentary session? State Minister Vasudeva Nanayakkara made an open invitation to Speaker Karujaya Surya on the matter.
Even though there is a new president, a prime minister and a cabinet, we still have the same speaker. Against this backdrop, the speaker seems to maintain his power further in parliament. He should have stepped down by understanding the people's mandate. We could have impeached him by a vote in parliament, but we don't want to create such turmoil. Even several UNP MPs have said that they will vote in favour to remove the speaker.
An order was issued to transfer former Minister Dr. Sajit Premadasa, who is currently at a private hospital in Colombo, to the Prisons Hospital. However, a few hours later, the transfer was halted.
Chief Medical Officer of the Prisons Hospital arrived at the private hospital in Narayanpeta to inquire into the health condition of former Minister Sajit Premadasa. The Department of Prisons instructed the hospital to transfer the former minister to Prisons Hospital, a decision reached after considering the facts and recommendations presented by the Chief Medical Officer. A group of officers from the Prisons Hospital arrived at the private hospital at around 1 p.m. in an ambulance. Even at 4 p.m, the former minister was at the private hospital and those who were supporting him, including the Mahasangha, arrived at the hospital. A senior officer of the Department of Prisons also arrived at the hospital at around 4 p.m. An hour later, it was reported that the transfer of former Minister Dr. Sajit Premadasa was halted due to his health condition.
He will go to courts depending on his physical condition. We can't decide that. Only the doctors can make that decision. We hope he would be able to produce himself in the courts. He is under the supervision of the specialist in the cardiology unit, and he has said that a person with such a condition like this should not be transferred from hospital to hospital. He should still be under treatment.
මොකෝ බැලුවද? ඈ මොකද කියන්නේ? දැන් කොහොමද මේ අපේ මන්ත්‍රීතුමාට කොහොමද? මේ ඔබ වහන්සේ ඉතින් මොකද කතා කරාද?
මන්ත්‍රීතුමාද?
ඔව්.
නිකම් ගොළුෙක් නෙවෙයි.
දැන් කොහොමද සෞඛ්‍ය තත්ත්වය?
සෞඛ්‍ය මට කියන්න බෑ, ඒ වෛද්‍යවරු ඊක දැන්.
Former Minister Patali Champika Ranawaka, who was released on bail recently, appeared before the Colombo Crimes Division today.
According to an order issued by the Colombo Magistrates Court, the minister must appear before the CCD on the last Sunday of every month. Former Minister Patali Champika Ranawaka, who was remanded on a charge of hiding evidence in connection to an accident that took place in Rajgiri on the 28th of February 2016, was released on bail last week.
පස්සේ කියන්න අය අධිකරණ ඉස්සරහා තියෙනවනේ අපිව ජනතාවත් අනික් අයත් අපි නිවර්තිකාරෝ කියලා අනාගතේ මේව කරයි ඔය ජඩ මාධ්‍ය මොනවා අපි ගැන පැතුනේ.
Representatives from the opposition as well as from the ruling faction urged the government to take legal action against the perpetrators behind the central bank bond scam.
The government came into power a month ago. They all said that Gotabaya Rajapaksa will do wonders. So we ask him to arrest those who are responsible for the central bank bond scam and file cases against them. Don't deceive the people of this country anymore.
නඩු දාන්න. එහෙම නැත්නම් මේ බොරුවක් නම් මේක තව දුරටත් ජනතාව රවට්ටන්න එපා. දැන් ඔය පක්ෂේ නායකයෙක් ඉන්නවා නේද ඒ අතර? මේ පක්ෂේ නායකයා නෙමෙයි පක්ෂය.
It doesn't matter who is involved, be it the leader, ministers or MPs. Whoever is responsible, arrest them. A forensic report on the central bank bonds for a number of years has been prepared. It includes all what Mahinda Rajapaksa did when he was a finance minister as well. If he is also wrong, file cases against him. Enforce the law regardless of who will get punished.
එතුමට නඩු දාන්න. ඒ නිසා මේකේ පුද්ගලයා කවුද කියලා නෑ. නීතිය හරියට ක්‍රියාත්මක කරලා පෙන්නන්නේ.
Meanwhile, Sri Lanka People's Party, who supported Gotabaya Rajapaksa during the presidential election, convened a media briefing today. There were several major topics discussed on the presidential election stage. The commission report on the central bank has been issued. It has not been made public yet. We asked the president to punish the perpetrators as per the content and the recommendations in this report.
ඔවුන්ට දෙන්න පුළුවන් දඬුවම් දීලා ඒ කටයුත්තත් අවසන් කරන්න කියන ඉල්ලීම මේ වෙලාවේ ජනාධිපතිතුමාගෙන් කරනවා.
The politicians and activists are urging the authorities to take relevant legal action with regard to the bond scam that occurred in 2015, soon after the government of good governance was elected to office. However, the second bond scam took place in 2016. Although bonds were called for a requirement of 40 billion rupees, it ended up with a bid of 77 billion rupees. The delay and lack of attention to the second bond scam indicates that the second bond scam was more deliberate and thorough than the first.
Welcome back here with News First. A gem miner in Udakaravita area in Nivitigala Ratnapura was killed inside the mine. Police suspect the death occurred due to inhaling of toxic gas.
It has been revealed that the employee at the gem mine in the 12th post area of Udakaravita had entered the mine at around 3:30 this afternoon. Workers said he was unconscious in the mine. Two other workers had gone into the mine to save him and they too had met the same fate. The other workers later had got together and taken them to the Nivitigala base hospital. According to our correspondent, the deceased was a 44-year-old father of two and a resident of Karavita Pinkand area. The other two employees of the mine are currently receiving treatment at the Nivitigala base hospital.
A mother and a son died after drowning in the Kahagama River in Potuhara, Kurunegala.
The deceased has been identified as S. Amuda, a mother of 5. She had arrived with her husband to her daughter's residence in Potuhara the previous day. At around 5 p.m. yesterday, they had gone with another set of people to the Kahagama River to bathe. The mother-in-law, father-in-law and the brother-in-law came to our house. They came to celebrate Christmas and the New Year. They went to have a bath in Mahapiti on the day of Christmas. Area residents say that the 44-year-old Amuda and her 15-year-old son Ishak had slipped and fallen into the river. As soon as I heard my wife screaming saying, come here, I ran and jumped into the water to save them and I heard them screaming. My wife and another sister was there. I saved my wife and the sister and the other lady next to her. Afterwards, I saw the mother and the son. They were a bit far away. I screamed, but there was no way of going there. Suddenly the son drowned and then the mother also drowned. Our correspondent said that another group from Potuhara had also arrived at the location. According to the residents, a mother and a son had fallen into the river and was later rescued. The family said that a person was drowning and I was inside the shop at that time. I jumped into the water to save them and I heard them screaming. I managed to save one person and I used a wooden stick to save the other person. The other had already drowned. I couldn't do anything about it. R. Ishaq was a student of Sri Saranankara Sangaraja Mahavidyalaya. He was the youngest and was preparing to face GCE ordinary level examination next year. The remains are placed at the Kurunagal Teaching Hospital morgue and final rites will be carried out on the 31st of December, one day before the New Year, at the Mudunpitiya Cemetery in Bamunavala.
The first foreign investment under the new government of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa is to be launched soon.
Issuing a release, Ministry of Finance, Economy and Policy Development said a $250 million mixed project of 30-storied commercial tower with 700 residencies will be carried out. The investment will be made on a plot of land located between the Bere Lake and Shangri-La Hotel on Baladaksha Mawatha in Colombo by a foreign investor called Perennial Real Estate Holdings. Perennial Real Estate Holdings Limited was founded in 2002 and is a Singapore-based integrated real estate and healthcare company. The commercial tower will also have facilities for retail and food outlets. The Cabinet of Ministers has approved the proposal made by Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa as the Minister of Finance, Economy and Policy Development to facilitate investment activities for the relevant company. According to the release, with the signing of the agreement soon, the land for the project will be leased out to the company and the government of Sri Lanka will receive $43 million as the payment for the leasing. A proposal similar to this mixed project of $250 million was presented during the previous regime as well. Interestingly, both proposals contain the same investor and the same land has been suggested for the project. State Minister of Tea Industry Development Kanchana Wijesekara, who was representing the opposition at the time, spoke about this matter in August of 2018.
Just a couple of months ago, Minister Malik Samaravikrama brought an amazing proposal to Cabinet. It was an amendment proposal for a mixed development project on a state-owned land down Baladaksha Mawatha between Bere Lake and Shangri-La Hotel, which will be implemented by Perennial Real Estate Holdings Limited. This was among the land acts presented last week. This act was presented not for anything else but to give the ownership of this land to the Singaporean company Perennial Real Estate Holdings Limited. The state valuation for this is 12.5 million per perch. Think about how it will be in another 8 years. Won't the value of the land in this country rise? We believe if there was a need to lease out a land like this, tenders could have been called for a much better price.
මෙවැනි ඉඩමක් බදු දෙන්න අවශ්‍ය නම් මේ සඳහා ටෙන්ඩර් කැඳවීමක් කරන්න මීටත් වැඩියක් මිලක් දෙන්න පුළුවන් කණ්ඩායම් ඉදිරිපත් වීමේ හැකියාව තියෙනවා.
As mentioned by the State Minister, did the current government hand this project over to this investor after calling for tenders? The people of this country are not aware of an instance where tenders were called during the previous month. Would it not be better governance if this government made a clarification to the people in this regard? For your attention.
State Minister Vasudeva Nanayakkara spoke about views expressed with regard to the language of the national anthem today. He expressed these views at a media briefing in Ahaligoda.
The constitution ensures the right of the Tamil people to sing the national anthem in their mother tongue. The previous government started a new concept, that is, playing the Sinhala national anthem at the beginning of the Independence Day ceremony and playing the Tamil anthem at the end of it. That is not a bad idea. By doing so, nobody gets hurt. When this is done, Tamil people will be truly happy. Making them happy is good. Then they will feel they are part of our community. The person who did not let them sing our national anthem in Tamil was Prabhakaran.
President Gotabaya Rajapaksa met with heads of local government institutions today at his official residence.
Addressing the meeting, the President said it is the responsibility of the representatives of the people to act in a way that would fulfill the expectations of the people. The President pointed out that the active state of the urban councils and Pradeshia Sabhas will be a necessity in this endeavour. Once Mahinda Rajapaksa was the most popular politician in the country. If we do not understand why the people rejected us back then and realize the reasons behind it, we will not be able to live up to our victory in the election. Therefore, we have to focus on this. The President spoke about the 19th Amendment to the Constitution as well. All of you know that there is a massive crisis in governing the state because of the 19th Amendment to the Constitution done by the previous regime. We have to remove these now. For that, we are in need of a strong parliament.
Minister Mahinda Amaraveeru responded to the comments made by the Tamil National Alliance about the 19th Amendment to the Constitution today.
They have said that they are going to remove the 19th Amendment to the Constitution, which was an amendment that was made democratically. There must be a rule of law in the country. Therefore, this is a great shock to all who value democracy. We are against bringing back dictatorial rule yet again. Neither the President nor us hope to remove any democratic element from the 19th Amendment to the Constitution. We are only hoping to resolve the problematic areas of the 19th Amendment to the Constitution. We will address the shortcomings in a democratic manner and will take the country forward.
Parliamentarian Sajit Premadasa took part in a rally in Anuradhapura today that is organized to thank the people who supported him during the presidential election.
The rally was held in Bandaranayake Mawatha, Anuradhapura, and Parliamentarian Sajit Premadasa received a warm welcome. I can see from your faces that you are quite happy since you all received the free fertilizer. Once the parliament is convened to implement this project, we are more than willing to achieve not just 2/3 or 5/6 of the majority, but the entire majority. There is no problem in that. There's only one condition. That is, when these proposals are passed, there is no turning back.
I speak from a clear conscience. We have a certain time period to do politics. We should all do politics during that period and leave once it's over so that someone else can do it when it's their time. Our political journey will not be successful if we only think about our positions selfishly and keep on holding to them, rather than thinking about the country or the people. We believe the change so many people, especially our party supporters, are asking for can be made before the parliamentary elections.
අපිට මේ පාර්ලිමේන්තු මැතිවරණයට ඉස්සෙල්ලා අපිට මේ වෙනස ඇති කර ගන්න පුළුවන් වෙයි කියලා විශ්වාස කරනවා.
An island-wide program to clean the country's coastal line polluted by human activities was held today.
Sri Lanka Army organized the program. Army Commander Lieutenant General Shavendra Silva also participated in the event in Modara, Colombo. The people of this country have a tendency to dump garbage in the sea due to their ignorance or due to a lack of a proper system. This is a big threat to tourism, and as a country which consumes a large amount of fish, it's harmful for the body. So keeping all this in mind, Sri Lanka Army took the steps to clean the entire coastal belt of Sri Lanka to keep the country clean and beautiful.
ක්ලීන් කරන්න පටන් ගත්තේ.
Moreover, in parallel to the 69th anniversary of the Sri Lanka Navy, a program to clean the Golf Face Green and the surrounding areas was held today.
Latest research revealed information regarding the possibility of plastic waste in the ocean might end up in human bodies.
In response to a query raised by Newsfirst today, legal advisor of Sri Lanka Customs Akhtar Hassan said that although the investigations are not over, action would be taken according to the verdict issued by court on the 13th next month. When the case was taken up on the 18th, the Court of Appeal adjourned the case till January 13th and postponed the verdict as the relevant case files were not found. Previously, court had ordered the government analysts to collect samples of garbage and submit a report on how harmful it is to the human body and the environment. However, the government analysts department notified the court on the 12th that there were no facilities to deal with the matter. Then the court pointed out that it is the responsibility of the Attorney General's department to find out if the government analysts department does not have the necessary facilities to take samples of such waste which could pose a serious threat to the environment and to the human body. The Centre for Environmental Justice alleged that the Customs Ordinance of Sri Lanka and the National Environmental Act has been violated. The Board of Investment is also a respondent in the case. We have pointed out and filed complaints that the importers of containers and other parties involved have violated the agreement entered into with the Board of Investment. Then there are provisions to be taken under the National Environmental Act and the Customs Ordinance against such illegal activities. We, the Centre of Environmental Justice, are of the view that the state institutions have failed to take any of these into account. Revelation on a container with used mattresses imported from the United Kingdom at the Customs. Customs opened several containers. Preliminary investigation reveals that the containers contain waste. Newsfirst reveals similar waste has been dumped at the Katunayaka Free Trade Zone. 3 companies involved in importing waste take centre stage. Mandamus writ petition to the Court of Appeal seeking an order to prevent the waste to be sent back to the countries of origin. 5 months have passed since the revelation on the consignment of containers carrying waste. When will those who committed this grievous crime of importing waste into the country be arrested? How are they still engaged in their businesses without any hindrance? And what is the reason behind the delay of bringing the culprits before the law? For your attention.
According to the Geological Survey and Mines Bureau, the law on mineral resources transport permits will be amended. Adding further, the Bureau said the amendment will be done by the committee comprising of cabinet ministers.
The Geological Survey and Mines Bureau stated that the new amendments have been forwarded to the Legal Draftsman Department. Under this, the law relating to the transportation of sand, soil, rock and gravel will be amended. At the cabinet meeting held on the 4th, it was decided that permits are no longer required for the transportation of rocks, sand and soil. Strong opposition have been put forward by various organizations, including many environmental organizations. Against the backdrop, VITs pointed out that this cabinet decision is against the Mines and Minerals Amendment Act. Amending the law on mineral resources transport permit stands out as a significant fact.
How can this act be amended like this? That is the dangerous factor. They are attempting to amend this act to remove all the transportation rules. They are prepared to amend this so that the path is created for the smugglers.
When Newsfirst inquired the Geological Survey and Mines Bureau, a senior official at the Bureau said that a comprehensive information on the amendment cannot be given out.
That we wrap up tonight's edition of Weekend Primetime News. Thank you very much for joining us. Good night.